Dzień dobry Państwu, witam serdecznie. U mnie w samochodzie bardzo specjalny gość dzisiaj. Prezes Netflixa, Reed Hastings, który przyjechał do Warszawy odwiedzić nas. Porozmawiamy o tym, co słychać w Netflixie i co się zmieni w Netflixie. Thank you so much for doing this.
Bartek, to get a tour from you, Warsaw is amazing.
You see, you're in the perfect location, in the middle of Warsaw. Everything is close to here. So I'll drive you around. And in the meantime, you tell me everything about what's going to happen in Netflix.
That sounds good.
In next 10 to 20 years.
Fantastic.
Is that a deal?
It's a deal.
Brilliant.
For the tour.
So let me start first with, because I know you watched the Big Water series.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I loved it in particular because, of course, there's the slow-moving tension of the flood is coming. But in particular for the lead actress, broken life. I don't want to do too many spoilers, but separated from her daughter.
So you have to be very careful about spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. So she's broken, and yet she's the hero of seeing that the flood's happening, and then of course over time she becomes whole. So that overlay of the disaster, but she is growing, is just beautiful storytelling.
Are you amazed about how local TV series, for example from Poland, can be such a big hit everywhere around the world? Because we used to watching, TV series from the US, for example. Yeah. Everybody watches TV series.
Why wouldn't a Polish series be great all around the world? I mean, it's natural to me. We've got Spanish series, Casa de Papel, Korean series, Squid Game.
I'm watching Korean TV series on Netflix all the time.
Exactly. So I think it's completely natural that Polish films, Polish series, 365 was quite controversial, but very popular.
Yes.
So, it's like many different types of movies, many different types of series.
So was it the idea from the very beginning? When you thought about going into streaming, you thought, well, I want people in the US to watch TV series and movies from Poland and Korea and places from all around the world?
Yeah, it was definitely, the internet's naturally global. I've been fortunate to travel around the world and know about different content, and we definitely wanted to, curate the best talent around the world and share those stories everywhere. So that's always been part of the dream.
So I have to admit, as I mentioned to you before we started this interview, I'm one of the first Netflix clients because I was living in the US, and when I found out that there's a company that will be renting DVDs, because that's how Netflix started, with renting DVDs by mail, I jumped in immediately. And I loved it. And it was always difficult to wait for something big because you had to stand in line because there were so many people waiting for the DVDs to come.
Now what are we looking at ahead? That's so beautiful.
This is the oldest street in Warsaw.
Wow.
It's called Krakowskie Przedmieście, which means a road to Kraków.
It's beautiful.
This is Warsaw University on the left, so there's a lot of students there.
And I'm sure you used to have DVD rental here, and it was a breakthrough for its time.
So tell me, when was the first time you thought, well, maybe we should switch to streaming?
Well, right from the beginning. That's why we named the company Net, which means internet, and Flix for films. So we always thought DVD by post was temporary.
Okay.
But it took a long time for the first streaming, not until 2007. And then we still have 1 million DVD subscribers in the US.
Really? Yeah. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So
older
people.
Yeah,
DVDs?
That's right. Older people, remote. I hear there's people that even collect DVDs.
Yeah, there's some of those
crazy
freaks,
dinosaurs, crazy people.
Some of them have 20,000 DVDs.
Oh my god!
It's shocking.
And dinosaur bones and all kinds of things. What else do you collect?
Just DVDs.
Just DVDs.
And actually, I collect books with signed by authors. I have your book.
Okay.
So,
I'll have to sign one for you. Okay.
No, we got the book at the company.
Oh, okay.
Because people follow Netflix culture, so
well, that's good.
That's how it happens. So tell me, we just talk about Wednesday TV series, that it's a big hit right now.
Huge, but one of the biggest we've ever had. Everybody, she is badass and snarky to her mom or her parents, and yet looks after herself, and stylish. It's just amazing.
So I have to tell you, because of the age I'm in, I love the father.
Yeah.
and I want him to have a spin-off series.
Yeah.
Can you do it for me and do a spin-off series
A spin-off
about the father?
I think all the characters. I mean, imagine one on Thing.
Yeah.
A spin-off on Thing. I mean, everybody needs a Thing to like take care of them and follow them around.
So tell me, do you know from the very beginning when people talk at Netflix, they discuss and develop a new TV series, do they know that it's gonna be a big hit? Did people tell you at Netflix, oh, you see, Wednesday is gonna be a huge hit?
No, we can tell that it's going to be good, but in terms of being a huge hit, we have not been able to predict that. So sometimes there's a show that we think is going to be a huge hit, and it isn't. Other times, Squid Game, Casa de Papel, Wednesday, it's much bigger than we thought.
Squid Game, nobody knew.
Well, in Korea, they said we knew it was going to be big in Korea,
Okay.
but those are Korean games that the people play, and so you grew up with those in Korea and unknown outside Korea.
So after so many years, do you know what people truly want to watch? What's the perfect TV series that you know that it's gonna be huge?
It's wonderful about humans is they're not that predictable. So we're always looking just to commission a lot of talent doing film series and try. We've got hunches, but it's not. There's no formula yet.
So you never know for sure.
We never know. It's the thrill of it.
That's truly amazing. And tell me about your biggest surprise. Something that was a big hit on Netflix and you had no idea and people were shocked, like 365 Polish movie probably.
Well, 365 because it's pretty sexual, that'll tend to do well. Breaking bounds and stuff.
That's something very predictable about humans.
So 365 you think would be solid. It's much bigger than we thought, but I would say there's a new Norwegian film called Troll.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's super fun. It's sort of King Kong coming out of the mountains of Norway, where it's like threatening, and then it turns out the beast has emotions, and so it's that cycle. But it's just so well done, and taps into Norwegian mythology. So I just loved it.
I'm surprised you find time to watch movies and TV series. How do you do it? I mean, you probably have some other stuff to do as well.
It's the greatest joy that, I get to call it work and, stay home for a morning and watch 2 series. And so it's fantastic.
You met yesterday a group of Polish actors and producers and people involved in doing TV series and movies for Netflix. Why did you do it? Why did you meet them?
Well, I wanted to hear how they're feeling about new productions coming up. These are the producers and writers of High Water and 365 and Sexify, and a cool new show we have coming up about the ferry disaster in '94.
Yeah, that's what you announced.
Yeah. So it's just great. It's fun to connect with them about what are they thinking, what are the stories, and we ask them, basically, do they feel supported? Can they do their best work and working for us?
I think, the amazing thing I heard about the High Water when we first talked to people involved in the production was that when they said the script could not have been done in Poland with the Polish kind of budget that is being usually involved in doing a TV series. That if you wanted to do it right, you needed Netflix to put
That's right.
a serious amount of money into it.
Yeah, those are big shots in a big swimming pool, and those are expensive
right?
shots. That's right, to make it realistic.
So, and I found from Netflix that you actually spend much more money on the production in Poland than even the Polish government is spending on altogether.
Yeah, this year we're spending about 400 million zlotys on local productions. So it's a lot of money. But then we're also growing, and remember that High Water gets watched not only in Poland but all throughout the world. Same as all the other shows. So we get to spread that investment around.
So is it, in the end, Netflix is a business and it has to put enough profit. So is it a good business to put this amount of money in a local production? Because you're saying 400 million zloty in Poland is probably similar amounts of money everywhere.
That's right. Yeah, we think so. It's been working for us so far, which is just keep making the service better. So we have series, films, and we're working on games to expand there. So we want to have those three be incredibly strong, see if we could win most of your viewing of series and films and games. That would be very exciting over the next 10, 20 years.
So tell me, coming to the next 10 or 20 years, where do you see Netflix from? You said from the very start, you imagine Netflix to be being a streaming service. So tell us about Netflix in 2050.
Well, I hope that every human being on the planet is a subscriber and watches, and that's like their primary joy source. Of course, there's still YouTube and TikTok on user-generated, and there's still sports that we don't do. Yeah. But for film series and games, that they turn to Netflix.
So tell us about the technology. So where do you see technology to, like developing in the next 20 years? Will we see something that we cannot imagine right now?
Yeah, well, our job in Netflix is to hide the technology, so you get to interact with, all the series and films. But if you think broadly beyond Netflix, AI is tremendous, changing, self-driving cars, things like that. It's always slower than they say, but then eventually it happens and it's a big deal. And we'll have much higher safety in self-driving cars, as much as that. We grew up driving, of course, so for us it's going to be hard to trust it. But I think that'll be a big change.
So you mentioned the artificial intelligence, which is obviously something that everybody is talking about right now. So how do you see AI involved in Netflix? What will it?
We're mostly dealing with emotions, how to stimulate human emotions. Yeah. So, emotions, poetry, those will be things that the computer does late. It'll focus on things like curing cancer and picking stocks and, very analytic tasks. But I think, for things that, again, is about stimulating human emotions, we'll be relying on humans for a long time.
So do you see AI being involved in the production of movies and TV series?
Only in small ways, animation and things like that, and generating scenes. But again, I think AI will change many other parts of the economy sooner. Mm-hmm. Self-driving cars, robots, things like that.
I have to ask you, because this is it's fascinating to people who don't know Hollywood and don't understand how the movies are being made, about the process of production. When you decide about changes in the script or decide changes in the scenes, how involved are people from Netflix in how involved are people from the company in doing, for example, the High Water? How involved were people from Netflix in the production of the series? Did you change a lot? Were you involved a lot in the production?
Well, the key in a good production is a lot of planning and planning out, every shot and what it's going to be.
What we call pre-production, what we actually call pre-production.
And so when that goes well, then the production itself, absent weather or a talent gets sick or, then there's not that many changes. Mm-hmm. Later, when we look at the cuts, then you can go back and do a lot of editing of the various footage, if you want to bring out a character's conflict more, or...
So how do you decide if you want more of this character and less of that character?
Yeah, mostly it's the creators themselves. That's the major part. But then we'll do some consumer testing and screenings and those kinds of things, and start to learn, okay, how do people like this or that character? What's the conflict set up? But you can't just take what the consumers say. You also want to mix that with what's the artistic vision. But if you only do artistic vision, you can have sometimes a lot of indulgent content that people don't relate to. So it's a blend. And if you do it well, then the talent always wants to work with you, and the consumers want to watch more.
I have this feeling for a long time now that much more interesting stuff is happening in the TV series and TV productions, even TV movies, than in the actual movies. And when you exclude things like Top Gun Maverick, which was probably shocking, its success was shocking to everyone. Yeah. And I love the movie, by the way. I loved it a lot, and I've seen it 3 times probably. Yeah. There's so many interesting things happening in the TV series, for example. Do you see it, and do you think that's what's happening? And we see this a beginning of the end for the big blockbuster movies, when all the talent goes into TV series and streaming production?
I think we'll have huge blockbuster movies for a long time. And
Okay.
We've got one, Glass Onion, that's Knives Out 2, coming out
Yes.
December 23rd.
I'm waiting for this movie.
That's right. So
Have you seen it?
I have. It's
Is it
fantastic. If you liked Knives Out 1, you're going to love this. It's great. So we'll continue to do that. But you're right that over the last 30 years, there's been a lot of innovation in television, partially because there's innovation in the distribution of television. You know, first broadcast, then cable, then internet. And film distribution is pretty much the same as it was. And so when you can expand film distribution, as we are, then you get a lot more creativity and people trying things. So I think the next, 50 years will be, just incredible innovation in series and films and hopefully in games too.
This is, by the way, the building that you wanted to visit is right there. So this is the old communist thing. So this is it used to be a tallest building, and actually you can't see the top of it. But
I was going to go up on the roof, but I guess it's cloudy today. Not going to see
you won't
much.
see anything. So this is the best view you got right now.
Okay. Next visit.
Yeah. My thinking is that when you watch a 10-episode TV series, it's basically more often we see less procedurals, and we see basically a 10-hour movie cut into 10 pieces. One story that goes with 10 episodes. It's usually 10. And it gives a much more space for development of the characters, and that's something. When I watch a 2-hour-long movie, it's not enough. It's like you watch it and this is it. That's it. It's superficial. I want the same movie to be done in 10 episodes. It's gonna be much more better.
With all the backstories and things.
Yeah. So do you think this is one of the reasons why? And I wonder. You said that you still believe in blockbuster movies, but the movie theaters are dying. Who's gonna go to movie theater when you have so many things happening in streaming?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at music, people play music all the time, and they also go to concerts and go to some live music, or they cook a lot, but they go to restaurants.
Yeah.
So I think there'll always be a place for theaters. But you're right that by blockbuster, what I mean is a movie that everybody's watching.
Okay.
So again, if they watch it at home, it's just so much easier, and they've got a nice big screen. So for me, that's a blockbuster when everyone's watching the film.
Okay. Do you want Netflix to win more Oscars? And is it why you use movie theaters to get into the race and fight for the Oscars?
Winning Oscars is great recognition for our talent.
Yeah.
And so the best actors want to work with us because they have a good chance of getting an Academy Award. So think of it as a professional development for the artistic recognition. So we work very hard to get them the awards that their performances deserve. But most people around the world don't know what won an Oscar and what didn't, or an Emmy, those kinds of things. So it's not much of a consumer strategy.
But it's important for the U.S. market, right? This is something that's very recognizable.
Again, for
in the
talent.
US. For talent.
Yeah. But people can't tell you who won, what films won Oscars. So it's a great thing to do. But again, the primary is so that the talent gets the recognition that they deserve. And it's life-changing to be Oscar nominated, Oscar winning.
Does it still happen that people, the talent, the directors or actors or actresses, don't want to do a production for Netflix because they want to stay in the big things, in movie theaters? So they say, no, it's a good script, but I'm not gonna do it because it's streaming and I don't want to do it.
That used to be a little phenomena a couple of years ago, but now so many of the big talents worked with us, and I think are mostly over that.
One of the Polish talents that it seems to me like Netflix is like bringing into the family is Maciek Musiał, whom you met yesterday. It's a young Polish actor who did 1983 for Netflix, which was the first Polish.
1983.
1983.
Yeah.
And then because he's doing only the numbers TV series. So the next TV series he did was 1899.
Yeah.
So you see
he's constrained now.
Like,
he's typed
that's the only
as an
thing
actor.
he's allowed to do at Netflix. But he did tremendous job in 1899, and the first thing that I wanted to ask you about the TV series is it's interesting because all the characters in the 1899 TV series are from different countries. They speak different
kind of a Noah's Ark.
It's like so Maciej is speaking Polish, obviously.
Yeah.
He looks fantastic.
Yeah.
My partner loved him, and she fell in love with him because she's walking around with no shirt.
Always dangerous. Yeah.
It's always dangerous. So I had to stop it, and I watched it by myself.
No.
But I wonder if this is the strategy, that you do a TV series and you put famous actors from different countries. There was a Danish actor in the TV series that is very famous in Denmark, so everybody in Denmark will be watching the TV series for him. Is it something that you think about? Is a conscious decision to do?
Well, I think the filmmakers wanted to present a sort of Noah's Ark version of the world, and so they wanted all that breadth. It doesn't work generally to try to increase the audience, to say let's put an Indian actor, an American actor, and a Chinese actor, and all of that. So we try not to. Fantastic Wednesday.
There you go.
Yeah.
The Polish team is doing a great job.
Yeah, they are. We don't do that to build the audience. It has to be natural to the story.
Oh. So tell us more about because we're almost there. We're stopping by your office, the Netflix Polish offices, somewhere in the building over there. So tell us more about the Polish things that will happen. Do you see more productions coming? I'm asking because I know you do.
Yeah.
Because this is the current
absolutely
information that we got yesterday.
Well, 6 years ago we launched in Poland, and I was here then, and we had no office, and we just had some shows from Fox and Disney, and some U.S. titles like Stranger Things. And
I heard about this.
In the last 6 years, we've grown tremendously by investing in local content, Polish series and films, and what's turned out so great for us is that they're popular outside of Poland also. And so we're going to continue to try to find amazing stories and just keep growing.
So there's, a story works everywhere. So if it's a good story, it works.
Not every story does, I would say, but many stories do. And so we keep trying and finding the new great ones. High Water certainly did. 365 certainly did. How I Fell in Love with a Gangster certainly did. So we'll keep trying. And if a story is only big in Poland, that's okay too. So, what great service! Gosh, you should be working for Uber. I mean, this is great.
Thank you so much. This is the career I'm aiming for. Yes.
Well, as long as you can keep watching all the films you want.
Thank you so much for doing this, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the second season of Wednesday.
Fantastic.
Somehow I feel it's coming.
I think you might be right. That's an extraordinary show.
Thank you so much for doing this.